Okay, so this is an IC-R7000, and this is one that I've had for many, many years. Original box, packing in bits and pieces. I think I've even got the original little fuse. Oh, there it is. The fuse, fuse in sort of different speaker plugs and bits and pieces. I suppose I should put that with all that there. Goodness. Anyway, IC-R7000, quite a collectible unit. This one, we bought it for the museum because it was just so, should get all this rubbish out of the way. It was so incredible. It was a little bit dusty, and that's about all. But and this actually didn't sit on the shelves. This actually remained in its box the entire time. A little bit of foam stuff where it's been packed all the time. But from memory, this one had a power supply upgrade. These used to get very warm in the power supply, and I know the particular chap, he's passed on now, that I bought this from, actually we only lost him a couple of years ago. I would have bought this about 7 or 8 years ago, so it's been sort of sitting with our bits and pieces for quite a while. So basically, if I just trying to think, what's the first thing to show you? I suppose the fact that it even receives. I'm only just putting a signal into it just over here with my little unit. In theory, that should be on there. Oh, I knew before I was having a play with the signal. I just couldn't remember if I left it there. Now, to give you an idea, these things have to cover an awful lot of range. Now, to be able to do, when you get a monobander, and I show you 0.5 a microvolt, it's impressive. It's a great spec to stick to. When you're showing something that's so wideband, it's got so many bands on it, and it has to all do it out of one box, it gets a little more tricky, and actually, this here, noise-free, we're still hearing just a slight bit of noise at maybe 0.6 of a microvolt, so, not quite meeting its 0.5, but, I'll tell you what, for the coverage these things have to do, no, very, very good. Now, bearing in mind, the IC-R7000 went up to, I'm sure it went up to about 1.2 gig. Now, I can only show you to 999, 9999. Now, see if I monitor. There we go. I'm really doing this on the fly. Let's see how it goes right up the top end of the scale. I'm starting to hear it already. Probably needs a little bit more input. But at 1 microvolt, I'm sort of really starting to say, hey, that's not too bad for, it's asking it to do a lot there. Anyway, all right, so let's get rid of some of the noise here. And from memory, down to about 25 megs, 25 megs through. So the good thing was you've sort of still got 10 meters, 6 meters, etc. So if you're looking for something that could, cover, especially some of the 10 meter FM and 6 meter FM repeaters, don't get me wrong. Obviously you can do sideband quite easily, back to FM, etc., etc. And from memory, no gaps. So they were just a straight through machine, as you're starting to see here. So yeah, look, nice coverage. Certainly did very well. I'll just put it on 5110 for a moment. Let's just see what they're like, because as I said, we are asking these things to do a lot when we say, hey, can one machine do everything at some sort of reasonable level, and bearing in mind, this was not the time of SDRs and and things like that. All right, so let's have a look. Squelched it. Noise free, 1 microvolt. Have a look at that. Noise free, 0.5. Now that's actually very good. I'm a lot more impressed with that than I thought. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Which of course makes us want to know what 144.1 might be. I would say it'll be around the same what 147 was, to be honest. Once again, 0.5 a microvolt. Nice. And maybe let's just go to just to try something oddball. 439, and I'm keeping it at the same 0.5 of a microvolt. Oh, I was going to hear it, no question about that. Maybe just a little bit sort of in the noise, but still hearing it's 0.5. It's probably more like 0.6 or, let's have a look. Probably 0.7 noise free there. 0.7 or 0.8, you know, sort of. So when you consider how much of an area these things have to cover, it's quite a unique machine. And you know, this one, look, it's not 100% perfect. I mean, I don't want to say it's absolutely brand new out of box, but it certainly is extremely clean for what it is. And you know, original box, etc., is especially when the boxes are in this sort of condition, it really is nice. It's just it's become very difficult to find a lot of these bits these days. I know I went on a massive sort of spree trying to find as many as I could back probably when we first got here, 2012 through to 2015, and a lot of this we picked up from all around Australia and around the world too. This one did come from a mate of mine in Sydney, and for what we'll be selling it for, seriously, it's a lot less than what we paid for it. But by the same token, you know, sort of the markets do change a bit, and you've just got to take, you know, the good with the bad. So with that, just a few things. They really had a very handy control on the side, and this was so easy to use because you could 1 kilohertz, 0.1 obviously for sideband, but just really nice. I'm thinking we probably want to put this on some sort of antenna actually. Now I haven't got VHF UHF in this room, but what can I do? Let's have a look. Okay, so got to be a bit careful because YouTube, copyright, blah 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 blah. So I just thought I'd put a little VHF whip on there. And thinking about it, I'm not going to get away with this easily. Let's go on a fairly big spread so that we're moving around fairly fast. 25 kc. You see what I'm doing here? I'm not actually stopping on any one station. I wonder if our local Tangam thing, we've got one down here somewhere. Yeah, it's just receiving that in here. I see that would be narrowband, wouldn't it? Oh, no, they're using wideband transmitters. Of course they are. Anyway, let's go up. No, we won't even hear. No. Yeah, I need to get some VHF UHF antennas set up to this workshop because we're not going to hear any of the... well, bit of data. Yeah, anyway, so certainly won't hear a hell of a lot sitting in this room here in Tangam, Balanga. Definitely some data signals. It's interesting. They've got to be close by. That carrier's coming in from somewhere. And so that's the good thing about these things. No gaps. Oops. Imagine putting a discone on this around here and trying to uncover what is actually around here. Now, there won't be a lot, but there will be probably a lot of data, I'd say. Anyway. Yeah, now I can't really show much, can I? Because I'm going to get done by YouTube at the minute I... Anyway, you got the idea. I'll turn that volume down and go 104.9. Whoops, enter. As you can see there, that comes up and... Yeah, all right. Just trying to not breach YouTube's rules there. Oh, okay, so yeah, obviously you've got a signal meter, which it was on signal. Now it's on the center meter, and the center meter will show you just exactly where it thinks that signal is centered on exactly. Oh, that's probably because our split at the moment. That's just, sorry, RTS. Yeah, that's better. And yeah, I mean, this thing thinks it's on 104.915 on FM. Now, if we go narrow, it's going to muck it up for sure. We go sideband's going to hate it. AM's going to hate it. But yeah, so that just basically what that does. Now, I'll be a bit careful not to play any commercial stuff on here. I'm trying to think of something as non-commercial that I could sort of go to on a small antenna, and my brain is going, no, there's not going to be much. Anyway, that is the IC-R7000. Can't show you too much on air, but certainly you can see that from certainly what we're able to test here, up to 999 megs, they're quite amazing in what they've done over such a broad range. And I think that's the thing, is that back in the 80s, you know, when they were producing these things, there was a lot of thinking to get these things to be that broadband, and to find that average, you know, which they did so well. But now, oh yes, of course, there is a 1 gigahertz button. So basically, when you do that, you're on, say, 1.1049, etc., etc. I can't test that or show you anything on that, unfortunately. Limited to $9.99 on just about every bit of test equipment in this property. Anyway, that certainly is something that you know, people may want to have a bit of a play with. Signal's about the same, isn't it? There, just coming down a bit. Should be a fair, yeah, there's a fair few stations around here that are going to come in okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be YouTube problem. I just can't think of much that won't be. Oh,
allow you to
now someone talking is fine.
The high voltage power lines, and the pruning.
Now, where this is good, that centimeter, you can actually find the center of the, see how I'm finding it there? Which this is probably 106.5.
Person can come in and chop bits off and hack the tree. You should be in touch with that company and say, we've got a really great tree here, we want it properly pruned, and we're going to be watching and see what their response is.
Anyway, all right. Okay, well, that's good. At least we got to hear a bit of voice, which we are allowed to play. Just had to capture someone talking about tree pruning, and that's legal, so that's good. All right, this one's going to come up for sale, be in the box, and we'll package up and send off to somebody who obviously may enjoy. Just full disclosure, after being sitting in the box for so long, I did replace a meter globe in there with the we actually do have the incandescent actual Icom/Yaesu part. Well, this is a Yaesu globe, but they're exactly the same size, same everything. And I always like, you know, like a lot of people do the LED mods and that. I love the incandescent, you know, I like keeping it how it was when it was sold. So that was the goal there. But yeah, just full disclosure, that's the only thing I needed to do after having it sitting in the box since about 2014, I reckon we bought this. So nearly 10 years that it's been sitting in the box and doing very, very little. And now it's going to go to a new home somewhere. So hopefully someone's going to be happy with this. Certainly a nice radio. And it's not, you know, going to be terrible money for what it is. I don't think so anyway. I reckon I'll do a little bit of dough on this one, but that's okay. I mean, as you all know, we've got a few to move out. Back to S meter. Yeah, nice radio. All right, 73s. Thanks for having a look at this IC-R7000. Great piece of kit, and it'll make a nice radio for someone's home. Cheers all.